So I'm Brent Maitland with Motor Coach Industries. I head up the private sector for the company, which is really any private operator, which is a lot of the operators that we have here at the show. I've been with the company for 19 years. So a lot of experience with the MCI brand, and sort of the MCI brand in the United States, when you talk to people about it, it's a workhorse. You know, the US operating environment is tough. You have long distances, you have corrosive roads, things that tend to really tear up and beat up a coach. So after years and years of experience, we have really built a coach that's reliable and tested and durable in this market. So this is the J coach, J4500, our J series, and this coach is the #1 selling private coach in the market and has been for over 10 years. So there's over 10,000 of these on the road. We just celebrated that last year, delivering our 10,000th. This is model year 2023. Everything coming off the line right now is 2024, which is model year for us. This is a show coach, so we usually build a couple that are dedicated to going to shows that have, you know, sort of all the bells and whistles. So in this coach, you'll see some really nice lighting, ambient lighting. It has advanced driver assistance systems, Bendix Wingman, collision mitigation, 360-degree camera systems. This one happens to have new Amaya Alpha seats. One of the segments of business that we do quite a bit in is people who operate limousines or limo operators. They're now buying motor coaches. So you'll see a lot more trends from that make their way into the United States into motor coach. So the black seating, the diamond stitching, just things that elevate the interiors. And then I'd say at the show, you know, part of our objective on the floor is no matter who comes in, we want to make sure our entire team is here to support them, greet them. So we have all of our sales representatives from all of our territories in the United States. We have parts representatives. We have our technical support team. So if they happen to have technical questions, we're here to answer them. So it's really the full spectrum of everyone in our organization. As important it is to have good product, having great people and a great team to support it, that's absolutely the most important thing. You know, it is in Europe as well, but in this market specifically, like service locations, you don't always have access to a location, so you have to have a person come into some distant region in North Dakota where there's no shops to help them fix a coach, and that's what our team does in the market. The MCI factory is in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So they're all fully produced in Canada. We drive them over the border. For the private sector, they're 100% completed in Canada. For our public sector, if you happen to buy a motor coach, due to Buy America requirements, those get completed in the United States. So at this point, they would start in Winnipeg and then move to Crookston, Minnesota to be completed. So that would be our D series, for example. We only sell realistically to US and Canada. Canada is roughly 10% of the US market, roughly 10% of the population. So most of the vehicles are going into the United States. And then delivery-wise, it tends to just reflect population more than anything. So where the people live, that's where most of the coaches are. So a lot of them in New York area in the Northeast, and a lot in California and Southern California. And then of course there's other, you know, major markets, but every state operates MCIs. Our market, this is Cummins Allison powertrain. So it has a Cummins X12 and it has an Allison B500 transmission, and that's you know, those are proven engines in this market at this point. And the Allison transmission's been one of the main transmissions for this market for many years. So we know that everything's moving towards zero emission, and it's really the pace of which that adoption is taking place. So on our public sector side of our business, it's happening quite rapidly. We're seeing significant orders for those, and we have production electric vehicles in service in both transit bus and motor coach MCIs. On the private side, that adoption is going to be a little bit slower, but we have also delivered electric J coaches. So the J4500 Charge would be the electric version of this exact coach, and we've delivered those to private operators. Most of them are using them at this point for commuter or employee shuttle transportation, and most of them are in California because that's where the regulatory environment is really favoring that. For the majority of our operators that are in the tour and charter business, an electric coach isn't going to fit their everyday needs yet. So diesel gets the range, the fill time, and we're just helping make sure they understand what it's going to take to make the transition ultimately from diesel to electric. If they're having, for example, they have to have a lot of discussions with their customers who say, hey, do you have an electric coach? They need to know enough to say, well, here's the reasons why we don't. It won't get the range, or we don't have the luggage space, but knowing how to get from A to B with infrastructure, with the electric charging, we need to be educating people on everything they're going to need to know when that time comes. So anyways, we've got several J's out rolling around with customers, and that's certainly going to be a big part of the discussion in some of the sessions at Busworld as well.
Thank you so much for watching the video here today, and if you like what you see, please click down here. The button is called subscribe, and then you will see all the future videos here on Bussmagasinet. Until next time, have a great day and drive safely.